Well, since we are in China to showcase the country's technological high-end and to understand it, there was no place better that I could bring you to than the China National Gene Bank. This facility here, like some in Japan, the US and the EU, is over the past few years has been collecting data, the genetic data of different beings, including humans, animals, even plant life. Let me also add that through the study of genes, the possibility of bringing back extinct creatures like the mammoth back there to our world is wide open. And certainly the possibility of creating a better human being also lies before us. So let's get in there and find out what they're up to. Now I'm on a higher floor of this building where they actually store the cells and blood of different species, and they'll store it for a long time to come. Well, you might know that our blood contains white and red cells, and it's the white cells that fight any illness or any disease that happens. This is where they store all the blood and cellular samples of all those different beings that they study. And they'll be doing that for many years to come.
In 2016, the China National Gene Bank, CNGB, opens. As the first integrated national gene bank in the world, it not only stores biospecimens of human beings and all diverse species, but also digitizes genomic information of all life.
Now, just as I walked through this hall, I came across these machines which I'm told are only made in China and the United States. And these machines are not operated by anyone, they're just working on their own, analyzing genome sequences of different beings and species, and barely one or two engineers in there just making sure everything's all right. Having spent almost half the day here trying to get a better understanding of what goes on inside the China National Gene Bank, I must say that it's easy to get excited about things like bringing back the mammoth or dinosaur or creating a superhuman, but that's much further in the distance. For now, the emphasis is on finding cures for human beings, for us to have healthier, better, longer lives. For example, a pregnant woman can now know during her pregnancy what problems the child may incur later on, such as arthritis, cancer, anything at all. And today, by studying the genome sequences, by knowing the DNA code much better through analysis, they'll be able to remove those traces, those elements which encumber our lives at a later stage. And that child, before it's even born, would possibly be born without those problems in the future. Now behind me is just one of the many hundreds of corridors of the data center. Now this is the equipment where all that data that the BGI machines downstairs were analyzing and genome sequences that they were studying is finally saved around here. And it's not a place that I can take you into because it's extremely sensitive and we cannot go in there. But this is where all that genetic data is stored. And now I'm walking through the corridor where they actually go to work on the genetic base pairs of all these species that you see here. Now, as in computing, computing is a sequence of zeros and ones in different sequences. Similarly, our genes are also written like that. And as they've gone on analyzing, our genetic code, they've figured out certain sequences which repeat themselves. And by studying those sequences better and by getting to know them better, they're going to be able to eliminate certain traces of certain things from our genes. And of course, they're already doing that with all these different species that can possibly be brought back now. I've just